oh boy, here we go again. What's going on? Ain't no the sports show enough from Mexico. My man Uncle Scrub, we back again. Get it off your chest, get it off your chest. We got another one.
Out in this crazy world by themselves. So it makes you just wonder a whole lot of things. Who's the what's, the wins, the where's, the hows, and the freaking whys. So let's get it off our chests. Set it off, big bro.
Set it up for you real quick so we can just get into it and bust it out. This one here is about a baby that was just found crawling in the middle of the street at some time of night, unsupervised. Child apparently looks, less than a year old, if a year old. At the end of the day, none of that matters. Fact of the matter is a child, and it was an unsupervised child, and out in this crazy world by themselves. So it makes you just wonder a whole lot of things. Who's, the what's, the when's, the where's, the how's, and the freaking why's. So let's get it off our chest. Set it off, big bro.
Baby found crawling in the middle of the road in New York. The mother screams out, "That's my baby," a minute after.
Okay. Could you call 911?
Okay, call 911.
Dominic, I got a blanket in the back of the car.
Yeah, those on the
Dominic,
porch. Right here.
I got a blanket in the car. You're okay.
Oh man. Baby in the street. This is what we do in Utica now.
Did you call 911?
Yeah.
You didn't call him?
Call him now. Damn, man. That's what we do now. Baby in the street. That's what people do now, you feel me? Leaving the kids in the street.
I was driving and
That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right. Would you mind if I just kind of put some things out there real quick? All right. Now I came across this video and I saw it and it hit me on a personal level only because I've seen this happen not once but twice, literally maybe 2-3 weeks apart. I was living in Schenectady, New York. It was probably about 11 o'clock at night, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I was sitting on my front porch with a couple of my neighbors. It was about 4 or 5 of us out on the porch. And, we was chopping it up, talking to some bozo stuff or whatever. And all of a sudden, we see this little boy, couldn't have been no more than 2 years old. He was across the street and we just saw him literally running top speed, like running down the street, crying, screaming. And we all froze like, oh snap. So I jumped up out of my seat and I ran across the street and I put my arms out and he immediately put his arms up and allowed me to pick him up. And I'm holding him and I'm looking around like, yo, because when you see something like that, you're looking around and you're like, yo, whose baby is this? Where's the parent? Did they run out the house? So you're looking for somebody to come running behind them or something. Well, apparently nobody was attentive to this baby, and he was gone long enough to get. He literally ran across a street and like halfway down the block in front of where we were at. And I'm looking around like, yo, the deal. So all my man, we about to jump on the phone, call 911, all this stuff. And all of a sudden, this lady comes up the street and she's just kind of walking kind of casually. And then she looks, is that my baby? Takes him out of my arms and just walks up the street. And I was like, yo, what the fuck just happened? So after that, like, I don't know. We just stood on the porch and we were just all dumbfounded. And I was like, all right, yeah, I need a shot because like, I don't know what just happened. You know what I'm saying? Because she was cussing and was like, oh, so-and-so supposed to be watching them and whatever. So apparently the baby got away from somebody else supposed to be keeping an eye on. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get into it in a minute as far as who we feel is at fault with that. Second situation, this happened a few weeks later. I was on my way to work, and again, it was about 10 o'clock at night. And I know this because the corner store, right down the block from me was about to close. So I came out and my car was parked on the street. So I went to go get in my car and I just saw this little kid fucking run by me like, what the hell? So I stayed in my car and I'm like, I roll my window down. I'm looking back because once again, you're looking for somebody to come behind him and say, "Hey, where's Phil? Where'd he go?" There was none of that. So I drove I drove down the street, and the little boy was like cutting the corner, and everybody was standing there looking around like, "Yo, whose baby is that?" And he had to be about 2, 3 years old himself, and he went around the corner, and he was going. So I stopped, and I got out my car, and I was like, I picked him up, and he came to me. And luckily, I'm approachable like that. He came to me, and I put him in my car. And then I spun the block and came back around, and I'm looking around like, yo. And I saw like kind of diagonal across the street. I saw there was an apartment building. I saw like a bunch of people standing outside. So I brought the baby over there. I got out the car, and went over there, and I'm like, yo, anybody know whose kid this is? Everybody was standing there like, nah. One cat was looking. He's like, yo. He looked around. He's like, yo, this fucking bitch. And he took the baby. He's like, yo, because he knew exactly who the baby was, whose mother the baby, you know what I'm saying? And where the baby lived at. So we went across the street and he banged on a door over there, whatever. So whoever came to the door just kind of casually was like, oh, and just took the baby. We was like, yo, are you kidding me? There was no anxiety about where was the baby. There was no sense of urgency about trying to make sure it was none of that. Just kind of casually took the baby and went back in the house. I'm like, yo, what is going on in this world, bro? So when I saw this, it blew my mind because I'm like, yeah, it's so funny how, how she came out and was like, oh, my baby, that's my baby, that's my baby. How did he get so far away? I don't understand. Like, what are we doing? What is catching our attention so much that these kids get so far away from us? Not just in another room getting into the jar of Vaseline, but we're talking about the baby is outside in the middle of the night, in the middle of the street. This baby can barely walk on his hands and knees. What are we doing as parents, yo? What are we doing?
That is, now don't get me wrong. When the kids start walking, when kids start running, stuff like that, they can slip outside. I understand that. But you're right. That was the concern that I had. This kid can't walk, crawling on his stomach. Who was watching him? Because that one is a little bit ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to tell you right now. I've had times where kids running, you're not in the room or whatever, they can go outside. They definitely can go outside. They can get outside real quick. I've seen it. I've actually helped people, that their kid slipped outside or whatever, and I'm like, hey, and then I don't really fault them. I understand. Kids get away from you, but this kid, how they open the door, how they go down the steps or anything like that? How did you? Who dressed it? Like, this kid got dressed, slid down the steps on his stomach, and went out in the middle of the street. Like, I don't know how you do that. That is ridiculously neglectful. And most likely it was a parent watching TikTok. They're probably watching us talk about that.
Listen, I can't really tell if how well the baby crawls, but just kind of thinking about it a little bit, I was like, you know what? Was this baby put there? Did the mom put the baby there? Open? We don't know the state of the mom, right? Like, this baby is not like you said, it's not a spider baby. He's not like.
And it seems kind of far away from the mother's voice as far as where she's coming from.
I mean,
her voice seems a little bit distant.
Barely can hold the head up. Like, I'm not sure this baby crawled out there.
Because if the baby did, look at the state of the baby. If this baby did crawl out there, how long would it have taken for that baby to get from where it was until that point right there where the baby was found?
That's a fact. That would take a minute.
Look, that baby's an industry plant.
I one of the things I thought about is like the mom putting the baby,
Stupid.
putting the baby in the street, hoping something happened. I know that's extreme. I know that's like,
Bro, but and it's not so far fetched nowadays.
Say that I've been through, and it might not have been the mom. It could have been the dad. The dad could have done that because I've seen dads try to do some crazy shit too. This across the board is it's apparent, but or did they? You know what? There's a whole bunch of scenarios that could come out of this because it could have been the mom and the dad are not having a good time. One didn't want the kid. It's your turn to take it or whatever. The mom leaves it with the dad. The dad's like, I didn't want this kid anyway. Because I just saw some story in the news where the lady did that with a dad, and the dad took boiling water off the stove and poured it down the baby's throat. That's what I'm talking about. So it could have, maybe they didn't want whatever parent had the custody of the kid at the time. I'm not saying that the mom has the custody or the dad has the custody, but whoever had the custody of the baby that night could have been one of those people who left the thing unopened on purpose. Could have been, and maybe they didn't want the kid anymore. I don't know. There's a lot to be answered in this one, but
Options. If you don't want the kid, there's so many other options, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like these, the fire departments have drop boxes for babies, for God's sake. They have drop boxes for babies. Like what? And and for somebody that would do something to a child to try to hurt the mother or the father, for a person to try to use a child and hurt a child to get a reaction out of the baby's mother or the baby's father, bro, there's very little that angers me more than something like that, yo. When you use a child in such a manner, because these babies don't ask to be here. They're innocent. They don't ask to be here. And you know what I'm saying? And if you don't want kids, then you need to take better precautions. You need to watch, you know what I'm saying, who you sleep with. You need to protect yourself. You need to use protection. And, there's so many options that make it so easy for you to just, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want a child, it's so easy to prevent that. You know what I mean? If you don't want to be locked down with this stupid ass female for the rest of your life, so many options. If you don't want to be locked down with this knucklehead ass dude that ain't worth shit, there's so many other options out there to prevent it. Don't have these babies if you don't want to take care of them. And y'all continue to have these babies out here, and y'all continue to sit here and let these kids go looking dirty and smelly, unfed, unkept, and y'all continue to have kids because you think that the next dude is going to be taking care of you and the rest of the kids that you got by 8 other dudes or whatever, and it ain't never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Now, I don't know what's wrong with y'all people, man. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Because if a dude came to a female with multiple children and baby mothers, the question is, does he take care of the kids? Is he in the kid's life? Is he doing everything to take care of the kids or what have you? You know what I'm saying? Because in a lot of situations, you got a dude that's got multiple children and he's with somebody, but he's a good father. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that is, but you know what I'm saying? And same as, it could be true for a female. You got children by multiple dudes, but you know what I'm saying, you're taking care of your children. And not only that, you might even have, multiple fathers, but they might be taking care of their kids, taking responsibility for their kids. You don't know. There's a lot of situations out there. But it's definitely for the ones that don't take care of their children, the ones that neglect and so forth, that think that other things are more important, some stupid things are more important than your child, drinking and smoking and doing stupid stuff like that or whatever is more important than your children. You know what I mean? You know, those are the ones that need to be dropped off the end of the earth. You know, those for the flat earthers anyway.
Definitely need to. Once again, we'll go back to see how they treat other people. If they're treating their baby's mom badly, then you might not be the next baby's mom. You might not want to be the next baby's mom. If they're treating their baby's father badly, then you might not want to be the next baby's father. If you like this person, you two are getting along and they're taking care of their kids, because trust me, I've had girls sit next to me on the couch and be like, I miss my kids. And I'm like, your kids are 5 minutes away. Why don't you go see them? Well, no, you'd rather sit on my couch and say, I miss them. Just like I've seen dudes who sit there and say, I miss my kids, but your kids are around the corner. What are you doing? You don't miss them that much.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, because don't try to impress me.
Yeah, that's it.
Because
right
when you see me, you're gonna see me with mine. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see me with mine. You know what I'm saying? That's why I give it up. You know, there are fathers out there that, you know, that love their children, that are in their children's lives, that do everything for their kids, that have custody of their kids and so forth. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of dudes out there, you know what I mean? Because unfortunately, the few that don't do all of these things are the ones that give us all a bad name. You know what I mean? But right here, I'm looking at 3 strong black men right now that love their children, have their children, you know what I'm saying? Take care of their children, regardless of what. They go to the ends of the earth for all of it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got three right in front of you. You got 3 right in front of you, America, that's sitting here, that's good dudes, good fathers. You know what I'm saying? We take care of our kids and we have our kids with us. We raised our kids. You hear that, America?
What's going on? I think we done wrapped it up, but the thing is there's a couple of situations it seems like here. Either somebody put that baby out there or somebody's really being real neglectful. Other than that, 20 seconds. What you got to say?
All I say is whoever the parents are, they're horrible, because that baby shouldn't have got out that time of night, gotten away that far, especially, you know, not even have the ability to get too far too fast.
Sad, man.